All right. So let's also take a look at the cylinder. So a cylinder is like a can of beans, or perhaps a can of soda, or a can of anything else that you have around your house that is up and down and round. Could be something like a bottle of water, or maybe some other sort of container that you hold stuff in. Anyway, so we're talking about a cylinder, and the surface area of a cylinder might be best explained by looking at this net over here. So notice that I have top and bottom as the circles, so like the top of the can and the bottom of the can, and the wraparound, so like the paper around your water bottle, it actually forms a rectangle. And that rectangle's dimensions are the height of the can or bottle, and the length is the circumference, 2 pi r. Because if you think about it, I have my round container, and this paper has to wrap all the way around. So when I spread it out, it becomes a rectangle. So looking at that formula then, 2 pi r squared is because I have two circular areas. 2 pi rh is because I have circumference times height to get that rectangular portion. For volume, it's pi r squared h, so down here, and that tells us how much liquid I'm pouring into my can. Now, pi r squared, that's just the area of the base. So any of these types of shapes, cylinders, rectangular prisms, we're just thinking about these things as being area of the base times that perpendicular height. Notice in that bottom right picture, it's not the slanted direction, it's that perfectly vertical. Wherever you form that right angle between top and bottom when you connect them, that is your height, your perpendicular height. So volume is area of base times height, pi r squared h. Surface area are the two circles plus that rectangle. Let me actually take apart my makeshift recording device right now and show you what's happening. So here's an example of a can. So that's the round part there. Notice that the paper wrapped around it goes all the way around, and that's why we're using the circumference to find that rectangular portion. Area of bottom as well as area of top. That's why I had that two sections of the pi r squared. So let's go ahead and give us a quick sketch of an example. So let's go ahead here, circle, circle, go ahead and connect them. We're going to pretend they're perfectly shaped. And let's go ahead and say that this radius here is 5, and this height is, let's say it is 12, okay? And let's go ahead and find surface area and volume. So let's go ahead and start with volume. So the area of my base is pi r squared. Well, it's a circle, so pi 5 squared. So we're taking a look at this. Pi times 5 squared. That's the area of one base times the height. So times 12. It is a 1. Well, 5 squared is 25, so what I really have is 25 times 12, which is 300. So I have my volume of 300 pi, and for the purposes right now, I'm just going to leave it in terms of pi. So 300 pi, and these are units cubed. Let's go ahead and talk about that surface area. So we have surface area. And remember, I'll write out that full formula. We're looking at 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. So again, that's the circle stuff. That's the rectangle. So 2 pi r squared, 2 pi 5 squared, and the 2 pi rh, 2 pi 5 times 12. 5 squared is 25, times 2 is 50. So 50 pi plus 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 12 is 120. 120 pi. So put them together, and your surface area is 170 pi. Units squared. Let's go ahead and put down a horizontal one. Maybe a can lying on its side. Here we go here. Here we go here. And again, we're just going to go ahead and roughly connect them like this. Again, I'm not pretending to be perfect. It is just a sketch as best as I can. Alrighty, so here is my radius. Let's go ahead and make that radius be 9. That's a 9. And over here, let's make this one be 20. So let's go after volume first. So volume equals pi r squared. So pi 9 squared. And the height, or in our case, pancakes being maybe vertically stacked for whatever reason, is going to be times 20. So 9 squared is 81. So I'm going to have 81 times 20. So I'm going to have 1620 pi units cubed. Let's go after surface area. So surface area again is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. So looking at this part here, 2 pi, the radius is 9, so 9 squared, plus 2 pi 9, and my height, or depth, is 20. Alrighty, well 9 squared is 81, and 81 times 2 is 162 pi, plus 2 times 9 is, actually let's do 2 times 20. 2 times 20 is 40, and 9 times 40 is 360. So 360 pi, and go ahead and put them together. We get 522 pi units squared. So, quick examples for rectangular prisms and cylinders.